such a brilliant idea, though, I think, this on your doorstep weekend, because how often do we hear people saying, and it's something we touched on last week, nothing to do in the Isle of Man, but this is a wonderful way of just trying things out. And one thing you will be able to try out is stand-up paddleboarding. Michelle Stewardson is with us in the studio. Lovely to have you here, Michelle. What are you doing for this weekend?
So this weekend we've got two things running. On the Saturday we've got some beginner stand-up paddleboarding sessions, so what we call our Discover Sup sessions.
Can I just ask you a very stupid question?
Go ahead.
Stand-up paddleboarding is when you stand up
and paddleboard
on a board?
Yeah. So in simple terms, imagine a surfboard that's slightly longer, slightly wider. For example, 10'6" long by 30 inches wide. And pretty much you stand in the centre of the board with a long paddle that's got just one blade on it as opposed to two blades like a kayak paddle. And you literally stand, put the paddle in front of your body, pull it towards your feet, out again, and that's you.
And how far out would you go doing something like that?
For our beginner sessions, obviously, we're not going miles offshore, but certainly folks on the island that are doing racing training, for example, will literally go from maybe Douglas towards Laxey and quite far offshore, basically. All the boards are slightly different. So there's boards aimed at all-round paddleboarding, there's boards aimed at racing, there's boards aimed at touring. So as long as you've got the right kit and the right equipment for heading further offshore, you should be okay.
And how did you get involved in all of this?
Well, I've been paddleboarding since probably about 2008, to be honest, and it was literally a case of trying it whilst I was on holiday down in Cornwall, and I was absolutely hooked. I used to teach scuba diving, and that was great under the water, but above the water, it's just fantastic being able to stand on a board and look below the surface and see all that amazing stuff. And so I came back, I bought an inflatable board, used it a bit on the island, and then I just continued with my training, really. Up to doing my instructor course over with the guys from Water Skills Academy over in the UK. And the rest is history. 2016, we started business, and really paddleboarding is just growing and growing and growing on the island.
And I've learned something already, because I must admit I didn't realise there were loads of different types of. I thought it was like, there was a paddleboard and a surfboard, and that was pretty much it. But
no, paddleboards, little like cars. There's kind of cars that go fast, cars that go slow. So yeah. That's why you end up with a sort of store like mine, which has 20 plus boards in it.
So talking about this weekend, I know you've got a pool session in Ramsey on Sunday, but that is fully booked, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately.
You've got 3 sessions on Saturday, 11:30, 1:30 and 3 p.m. That's going to be in either Ramsey or Laxey.
Ramsey or Laxey, really, for all the stuff that we do around the coast, we are obviously, like most outdoor activities here, pretty dependent on the weather, especially the wind. So we'll have a look, see what the forecast is doing later in the week, and then we can kind of make a more accurate assessment on where we're going to go. But somewhere nice and sheltered for our hours sessions, so not too far from the beach, nice and easy, not too deep. So
and
that's
presumably
the plan.
No previous experience necessary. Got to have good balance, maybe?
Not really. I mean, we can normally in an hour's session get folks from their knees to standing, normally in about sort of 20 to 30 minutes. We basically do some basic stuff on the shore. We take to the sea on our knees. We then have some little safety brief, obviously how to get back on if you accidentally fall off, and pretty much get you up as soon as possible. If you have difficulties with the water or you're not overly water confident, everybody's in buoyancy aids, and even we can run sessions on the Morag Park up in Ramsey for those folks that don't like the sea. So we can pretty much cater to most folks, really.
I was going to say, what do people wear for this normally then? Sort of wetsuits, dry suits?
Usually we are putting folks in 3mm full wetsuits because obviously our waters are still quite chilly. So we tend to use a sort of a layering technology over the winter season. So rash vests under the wetsuits, and then like kayaking cag tops on over those, woolly hats, gloves, and then 5mm boots. In the summer, I tend to still wear my 3mm wetsuit, to be honest, because we never know what's going to happen with the wind. So yeah, but you can wear, shorts and t-shirt if you're hardy. Personally, I think I'm sticking to my 3mm wetsuit.